What is up, and welcome to Kentucky Derby Day. The dudes are fresh off the Mad Dog interview, and we literally cut it right by the wire here. I just texted Simon, like, dude, you might have to start this thing because we don't know if we're going to get done. We started. Thank you for joining us, and what a day it's been. Before we get into it, just welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
I love the energy, man. You're replacing Ryan as the hype man. You're just coming in strong here. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. I'm loaded over here. Yeah.
Claws.
Yeah.
The claws. So we're good to go over here. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a day. It's hard to believe we are now like an hour from post for the Kentucky Derby. The day flies by on these big days, but. So I guess first of all, before we get into Derby talk, we got a lot to talk about.
Derby to me.
Let's talk about what do you guys? How has your days been? Are you live to anything? I know we just had a huge score. Samich and I were really big on Digital Age in that race, and Samich made it pay. I think. Hopefully, he can finish it off with Tiz Law. But Samich, what do you got live here?
I've got about an hour sweat. I got a little on tilt after that 2 won the Iroquois because I was like on it all day, and then Vinny here with the picked at 4th. Congratulations, Vinny! Excellent pick. I was really pissed when that 2 won, so I decided I had all my big opinions late in the day, so I decided to just start hammering those big opinions. So I've got $15 pick 4 to Tiz, a $5 pick 4 to Honor AP, and a $20 pick 3 to the 7-horse Money Moves. So let's get one of those home.
Okay, hold on. Say the last one again for me one more time.
$20 pick 3 to Money Moves.
Prioritize didn't run that bad.
After I got the first one home, I had a huge opinion with that 4 with Digital Age, which I hammered across the board too, and I've been talking about for like the last 2 days that I like that horse. And I liked Bells the One a lot. I had Bells the One in second. Vinny, you had her on top. I mean, that she was a horse that was logical to be able to run down Serengeti if anyone did. So I played the 2 of them to 4 to 7 for a $20 pick 4 to kind of the only horses I think can win the Derby. Spoiler alert: the 7, the 7, the 16, and the 17. And so I wanted to make sure I was alive to all 3 of them here. And after I got that first leg of the pick 4 home, I wanted to essentially hedge my bet because I was so confident in the next 2 legs.
All right, Vinny, is Money Moves going to win this?
I would hope so. That'd be cool. I'd be pretty pumped. I have a pick 3 alive to Tiz and Money Moves, and I have a future on Honor AP. So I'm just letting those ride.
I mean, if Money Moves wins, I'm probably not coming on after the show.
Prioritize ran a good 3rd in the Woodward earlier, so you never know.
It was a really tough version of the Woodward too. I mean, that was a stacked ass field up there.
Hey, it was a good field.
Hey, isn't Tacitus your boy, Vinny?
Yeah, he was. I thought around the turn, I thought he was good, and then he just couldn't pass Global Campaign. He ran a very good race though, Global Campaign. So
he did. He's a tough horse.
Oh well, I'm still gonna bet Tacitus in the Classic at like 30 to 1. So it'll be fine.
Good for you. Yeah, keep riding that hopeful train, dude. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
He ran another. Hard not to, right?
No, honestly, he's like a horse that he's like a McKinsey, where you're like, why can't this horse just put it together and be he's consistent at coming in second, and so I like him. He has the pedigree and everything, the looks.
Right, he just can't win.
No. A minor detail.
Yeah, minor detail.
Well, let's see. What we got to talk about? Let's talk a little bit about Digital Age, because that race was he was so impressive there. I mean, we were on. I don't know if any of y'all on here listening, or you guys listen to us on XM, but I mean, they were rounding for home, and Halterman called him a winner, and he was in probably eighth place or so, because he'd almost had that Chad Brown turf feel when you could tell when they're kind of gearing up, and you just know like this horse is
Race
motoring.
over.
And sure enough, I mean, it was almost in the way he was ridden. It was just I know I'm going to win, and it was very well calculated. So that was a hell of a performance. And, Digital Age, a horse that Halterman had made point to several times, just kind of being a disappointing horse in the past, really starting to round into form. That was really impressive.
Yeah, he had a lot of classic angles too. I mean, third off the layoff, late in the 4-year-old season. So you're seeing the horse improve consistently. That race 2 back is actually sneaky good. It was on Belmonte. It was the second to last race of the day there. And he performed well in that race and was able to kind of run well. The race after that, he got the job done and winning. It's nice to see him win. And then, I got to say, and I think we're definitely going to talk about Newspaper Record at some point, the turf is playing a little to closers right now. I think you saw that in all 3 of the turf races, and that helped Digital Age here, who came running down. I thought Factor This ran a huge race, too, to run second after setting the fractions and having pressure the entire way around. So I wouldn't take anything away from Factor This, who I thought had little chance of winning this race and ran huge. Yeah,
the Factor This kind of hurt my try and my super in that race for sure, because I definitely did not. I thought Factor This was a really bad favorite, and for that horse to hold on. Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned Newspaper Record, a horse that, watching that race, you watch it unfold. She gets the pace she needs. He sets the fractions. It wasn't crazy hot, kind of the similar that she ran last time out when she blazed and won going away, and then she just couldn't finish it. She got ran down. There's no excuse for her whatsoever. Was it a matter of her running poorly, or is Brad Cox right now just? I don't. Yeah, I mean, is the juice losing a little bit or what?
Right. They came home in 23-5 for the last quarter mile, and Beau Recall was 8 lengths back. So she ran home in like 22 and change to catch her. I mean, that's a monster effort. I mean, I don't think that Newspaper Record necessarily ran that poor to coming home at 23-5 is good. I mean, that's a darn good time. And so she got run down by a horse that ran huge. And again, like I said, I mean, if you watch the earlier race where Field Pass lost, Field Pass ran a 48.5 and hit a wall. And that horse was the best horse in that field. So this turf may be a little deeper than we're necessarily, or a little more tiring than we're necessarily giving it credit for, because the 2 horses that flew by Field Pass was a horse that had never rated in its life and a horse that never tried turf before in its life. So that right there tells you kind of how that turf course was playing. And then for Beau Recall to come home like a just freight train on the outside, I'm not going to take that much away from Newspaper Record. I thought she ran a good race. I just think she got beat.
Dude, she's one of those horses that she's sometimes hard to trust. And just when you think you've got her figured out and that you can count on her getting it done at a short price, she does that.
I told you when they rounded the turn, I said she's beat. You're like, what are you talking about? It's like, she's not going to fight this horse that's coming on the outside. She will go right by her. She has no fight in her whatsoever. And she was beat. But that's all right. The thing that really pissed me off was Bell's the One. And here's why. I would be alive to a pretty nice pick 4 if not for Bell's the One. And it's my own fault, because you know who my 4th choice in the race was?
Bell's the One.
You know how many horses I used in that race? 3. So
yeah. Fancy liquor for me, 3 deep, 4th course.
That's the shit that happens sometimes. Yeah. No matter what you do, you got to make decisions. You got to make cuts. You can't play them all. You can't go 4 and 5 deep every race. And that one screwed me. And fancy liquor. I know you were pissed too. So
in the Iroquois, I used the wrong Romans. I didn't use the other Romans.
Yeah. You used yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, and that's another one where if you end up on the other one, you use both Romans, then we're talking about massive pick 5 numbers that we're alive to.
Yep.
I mean, the numbers alone right now, as it is, are really, really big going into this. You get $1,100 pick 4 into Tis the Law, which, it's not that surprising because we know these pools are just absolutely massive on the Derby day. And no matter what, you just need one price basically to come in and you got some nice payouts. We are 46 minutes to post for the Kentucky Derby. Let's look at a few odds here. 4-5 on Tis the Law. Authentic is 9-1. Honor AP is 8-1. NY Traffic 14. 1,000 Words is 10-1. South Bend's actually getting some play at 35-1. Money Moves is 13-1. Max player is 19-1. Everyone else is pretty big, but yeah. So 4 to 5. Are you guys? I mean,
Yes.
how much do you love Tiz the Law at 4 to 5?
At 100, not even 4 to 5. I'm serious. I think at 4 to 5, that's an unbelievable price on him.
I mean, what was he, 3 to 5 morning line?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's he pulled it up a little bit. I think 4 to 5 is probably what we get.
When you look at the doubles, we were talking about the wheel pays of the doubles yesterday, and you were like, he might be 1 to 9, but you're getting 4 to 5 on him. He's actually value at 4 to 5, no matter how you slice it, in my opinion. Now, if you don't like him or you just simply don't want to bet 4 to 5, that's okay. I don't blame you. But if you're looking at each horse and saying, okay, who's the biggest value here? He's got to be, if he's not the top one, he's one of the top ones at this price.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where the public money rolling in on random horses to win is making a difference, right? I mean, the fact that the highest horse on the board right now is 50 to 1 is absolutely bonkers. There's at least 3 horses in here that should be 100 to 1. That should be 100 to 1. Not that they will be, but should be. And the fact that you're seeing horses that should be 100 to 1 at half that number is one of the reasons why you're getting this value on Tiz the Law at this point. I say value at 4 to 5, and I kind of shudder a little bit because I hate that. But look. He can beat everyone in this field except maybe Honor AP, and we don't know how good Money Moves is. Everyone else can't beat him. So, I mean, I kind of, in my mind, comes down to can Money Moves make a huge step forward? Is Honor AP going to bring his A game? And how good is he? And if, I'm not sure who else really can topple him in this spot.
Dude, I know. And the thing is, it's like Alter and I were talking about this earlier, and it's just like you look and you try to find, if you do try to pick pieces apart on him, everything is coming. I mean, the track's playing perfectly for his style. The fact that he draws a perfect post position
For him.
The fact that he's been training lights out, maybe better than ever, even after the Travers. I mean, there's just not anything you kind of want to say like, oh, he did that or this, and he drew the one hole, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of a way to play against him. It just seems like he's the best horse in the race by maybe a lot, depending on what Honor AP does. And everything points to, everything sets up for him. Uh-oh. Watch out. Here he is. Lemmy, what's up? What are you drinking there, Bill?
I got you on screen. Oh, just drinking a beer out of my 144. Oh, geez, here it is. Got it in the middle. 144 Kentucky Derby when Justify won. So, thank you guys for taking me to my first ever Kentucky Derby back in 2018. Now we got to do it again today, man. We got to get this Honor AP home, baby.
That works.
That would work. I'd be happy.
How's your day going, Slim?
Oh, Digital Age was huge. Digital Age was huge for me. I'm alive to big doubles, big pick 3 here. I got my double from yesterday.
Uh-oh.
No, lost the audio.
We lost him. Okay.
The kids are talking.
Yeah, no, I want to mute there. Sorry.
Well, he's back.
So yeah, no, I got back in December 1st of 2019. I put $10 to win on honor code in the Sire pool. That's gonna be $200 to come back. So I've been waiting 10 months to get this honor AP across the line. But be happy to. It'll be all right.
This is what I'm talking about with Slim. He has all these bets just hanging around, and he just knows how to cash them all at the end.
He's got a spreadsheet somewhere.
So.
He's got to have a spreadsheet somewhere.
Right here.
I got money on Tiz the Law too. I'll be pretty happy if Tiz the Law wins. Yeah. And all the bets in the guide, I just basically have Tiz the Law with Honor AP in first and second. And, I've played against Authentic. I'm worried about the slower pace now that Authentic will hang around for a piece, get third or fourth. But, if I'm playing the top 2 choices, I just feel like you can't play, I have Thousand Word and NY Traffic, New York Traffic with them. But I just feel like you have to throw someone out to make money, and Authentic is that horse. And I don't know. You know how the Derby is. For third and fourth, there's always 5 horses right there. So just hopefully he dies out and a couple horses pass him at the last second.
Yeah. I mentioned this on Twitter. If anyone has either an offshore book or if they've got FanDuel or anything else in the states, the legal state to bet, there's a first half prop, and the number right now is 46.5 seconds over under for the first half mile. It's going over, and it's almost everywhere. It's either -120 or -110. Slim writes an incredible pace thesis. He had it at 47 with King Guillermo in. Now we got King Guillermo out. I mean, you could see him go a high 47, 48 pace. I think they might have as much of a second leeway in that bet. So I would definitely say if you're in one of those states, head over and see if there is a first half over under, because that 47, anything in the 46s, I think is a pretty good bet.
Yeah, I'm the first quarter. I have no idea what could happen because Authentic might go very fast at the beginning there, so to get the lead. But once they hit the turn, they'll slow it down. And once they hit the backside, they'll slow it down too. So that's what's happened historically in the Derby for the last few years.
Yeah, and I just think Authentic, the only chance he has if he gets out there to the lead, they're going to send him from that 18-0. But that's another factor. They're going to send him, but he's going to have to clear all those other horses, and that might slow down the time a little bit as well. And then the no pressure factor. It's like nobody else in this field really has that kind of speed when King Guillermo scratched out of it. So, yeah, definitely that is a great bet. That may be almost as good a bet as Tis the Law, right?
You're going to get a better number. I mean, minus 120 is 4 to 5. It was better than 4 to 5. So if you can find it somewhere and play it, that's one of those bets I think is a no-brainer. It's the total race time is under 203.5. He just ran the Travers in 200 and change, or 2 minutes and change. So that one to me is also a nice under, especially with how fast Churchill's playing.
I was going to say, this track is playing lightning fast. If he goes over, if the winner is over 203, something's happened in this race, right? I mean,
yeah, it's
the tractor stopped. Or something.
The way
pull the gate,
the gate didn't move.
They had to all run around that damn thing.
2020, that would be perfect for this year.
Right.
No, and to Samich, you made a really good point, I thought, on that. And go ahead and plug it real quick. The interview you did. What was the name? What was the name of that podcast?
Yeah, You Better You Bet. They have a 4-hour show every day on sports betting from 4 to 8 p.m. It's a live show with video, and then it's also a podcast the next day. And it's really cool. I was asked to be on it this I think it was Thursday, and it was a blast. Man, it's definitely worth checking out if you're a sports bettor.
So Samich made a really good kind of different strategy, kind of like he's saying here with the times and whatnot. And John White did this, and credit to you, Samich. So this is a pat on the back for you because John White did this as well with Pharaoh. When it makes more sense to say, you know what, don't bet him to win. Just if he's going to win here, he's going to win the Triple Crown. So bet the Triple Crown odds. Find a good price on if him winning the Triple Crown, because John did that with Pharaoh.
It paid off.
And it paid off. And of course, he did it a little earlier on, but still, if it makes more sense if you think he's going to win the Preakness, which let's be honest, after we saw the Oaks, it seems like who's going to be his biggest threat? We saw the Jim Dandy earlier. Who's going to be his biggest threat? So it's like, okay, might as well. If you're getting better odds on winning the Triple Crown, do that. And so that was a good idea, I think. If you're looking for creative ways to make money in this race, if you're more of a win type bet person or future type bet person or whatever it is, that might make a lot of sense.
And that was plus 135 this morning. And you're minus 140, 150 in this race. You're going to be minus 250 to 300 if he wins this and we go on to the Preakness. So it's definitely better than a win parlay in race by race. 14 to 1 is the current price on Tiz beating Secretariat's record.
It's unbelievable that you knew that just like that.
Dude, I may have considered putting a couple shekels on it. I may have considered that one.
I almost thought Michael was being the dumbass.
14 to 1, you could bet on Tis the Law to beat Secretary of State
right now.
I thought that was just a bullshit question.
No,
and then the fact that so much rattled that off before it even hit the screen. There you go. Yeah. So if you want your guy for future odds,
what did you say, Vinny? What do you say?
I said he definitely thought about playing it if he didn't already.
I saw it there and I'm like, that's kind of spicy. I mean, he almost broke the Travers record for Airgate with geared down at Saratoga. We've got a fast track. He's going to sit close to the early pace. He's going to have a ton left in the tank. He could go 12s here. I mean, he could get home in the 159 and change. So at 14 to 1, I don't think it's ridiculous.
Hold on. Let's ask the racing historian Ryan Stillman. Do you think this? Because this is an answer that you can actually, you're not a huge better gambler advice, but you are a historian. Can he break it? Do you think that would be a good bet at 14 to 1?
I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to say he can't do it. But I personally wouldn't do it. I'm not going to look like an idiot afterwards. If Samich is saying those times and everything like that, and he's saying, "Hey, that's a good bet," I'm not going to ever go against Samich. I'm no idiot, but I wouldn't personally do it because he's the GOAT Secretariat, and there have been a lot of great horses, spectacular bids, Seattle Slew. All these horses didn't do it here, so for Tiz to do it, could he? I'm not going to shoot him down, but go ahead.
There's one thing about this, and I brought this up in the intro in the pace thesis. he has 4 more months of maturity on every other horse that's tried to do it. So
That's an interesting point.
to do it, and he's stronger and bigger
Yeah.
than any other horse that's tried. So that makes it. I don't think he can do it, but maybe.
I thought about it. I did not bet it. Let's just to be clear.
I love that guy.
Doesn't that say a lot about this horse? The fact that we were on the show with Patrick on Mad Dog. He mentioned about the Arrogate and Travers thing, and the fact that we're comparing this horse to that Travers and how important or how impressive that was. And now we're sitting here talking about, would you take 14-1 on him beating Secretariat's record? And by the way, he's 4-5. He's 4-5, and we're mentioning him in the same breath as Secretariat and Arrogate. That's kind of unreal. I mean, if you think that 4-5 is an absolute steal.
I will be broke if he loses. That's how much I like 4-5. Like the bank accounts have been empty.
Racing dudes?
No, the racing. Okay, I personally will be broke.
Jared, got some news for you.
You gotta pay Samich, man. Come on. You can't bet Samich's money. For Curtis. We got to Magic.
Magic's not here. Don't worry about it.
I would play him 4-5 if I wasn't alive in a bunch of stuff. I've got my money on him already. And so
we need to let everyone on the feed know we are watching the NBC. Okay, so I don't know what you all are watching, but whether we're gonna they just show they're doing the walk-in, they're interviewing. I don't know who they're interviewing here, but I don't want to be way behind. We might have to turn
I've got the Churchill feed because after yesterday it was just unbearable to be 3 seconds behind everybody on the NBC feed.
When the race goes off, we're muting you and not even looking at you. So we're watching it on a big screen, and it's Hulu, so it's already delayed. So yeah, we're gonna have to mute it. But listen, we got a long ways to go. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
so you've got 35 minutes. I've got 34.
The bigger question is, can we get through all the White Claws before the race actually starts?
Yes, we can. We're gonna have to go to the Miller Lights because they're almost gone. The White Claws are almost gone. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit while that's okay. Tell people, what are your ways? Obviously, Samich, you've got a massive ticket live to Tiz Loss, so that's how you're making money in this race. But if you're looking to make money on just this race alone, we talked a little bit about this on the interview on Mad Dog about how you play that try. How do you structure the try? Does it make sense to put Honor AP and Tiz in the top spot and then sprinkle a little bit with them underneath, and then in the third spot just kind of get wild? Because we know these tries will pay if you get something massive underneath, even if Tiz the Law or Honor AP wins the race. So how do you what is the kind of advice would you give people, or maybe name a few horses that you think need to be played underneath? How do you make money in this race when Tiz the Law is 4-5 if you're not going to play him to win?
Well, I'll actually defer to Slim. I mean, Slim is the master here of the single race bets. I like trying to make money in the multis, and that's where I'm successful. Slim crushes these bets. So, Slim, what do you think about the try and the super?
I think the only horse that could beat Tiz the Law is Honor AP in this race. And you take a look at the exacta probables. It's not horrible for $2. Tiz over Honor AP is $18. It's not horrible. And the other way around is $32. So, that's the thing with the Derby. These pools are so big that you can make money on it. And, I'll just put those two on top of a bunch of horses in third and, put your favorite horses in there. And, if you think someone could split them, then in the trifecta, play Tiz, Honor AP on top, put some horses in second and put them in put those two in third. I think both will show up. I hope they both show up. If one of them doesn't show up, I'll be really pissed. I mean, I think Honor AP has good tactical speed to be closer to the slower pace. We'll see what happens. I don't know, Vanny, what you think? You're pretty big with the exactas.
Yeah, I like Honor AP. I mean, I would just play those two and then maybe play Tiz over a couple horses. Because I think if Honor AP wins, he's only going to beat Tiz. If Tiz, I think there's a better chance that Honor AP doesn't show up than Tiz not showing up. So I would just play those two in an exacta and then maybe play Tiz over Money Moves or New York Traffic, if you like New York Traffic, and just play him over a couple other horses as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think throwing Authentic out is the way to make money here. If you watch back the Haskell, he ran that final furlong it was the final furlong. He ran in 12.87 seconds. If you protract that out and he runs this final furlong, essentially from an 8 or final quarter mile, 26 seconds. He's not finishing in the top 4, and he's going to struggle with the distance. And so you see how New York Traffic was catching up on him. By the way, New York Traffic plus 135 against Authentic head to head right now. I would take New York Traffic all day there. You have, I think you have a chance to throw him out. And I think also he's a my racehorse horse. So you have what? 300,000 owners of that horse that are all betting him to win right now and playing him in exactas. I think it's an awesome chance to fade some public money in that sense. So for me, I agree. I think that the ones underneath that you want are going to be New York Traffic. I think you want to have a little bit of 1,000 Words, who is a effective plotter, if you will. Just will keep going, not necessarily fast, but just keep going. And then Money Moves, I think, is the other one that's interesting because we don't know. We just don't know if the progression is going to be there. And if he does progress, third start off a layoff and fourth career start, he could improve enough to be right there with his field.
Yeah, I mean, it gets kind of nutty after, when you want to talk past Honor AP and Tiz Law. So Slim, you kind of, the way you mentioned is like, you think if Honor AP does win, he's only going to beat Tiz Law. Like
that was
something crazy has to happen with some type of pace meltdown for Tiz Law. I mean, Tiz Law should be in the lead at the 8th pole. I mean, and at John White's numbers work that if you're in the lead at the 8th pole, you have a very good chance of winning the Derby. That's how it always works. So I mean, we'll see if someone else could chase him down. I think Honor AP might be the only one. But I don't think I don't think that any of the closers are good enough. I mean, Max Player, Enforceable, these horses aren't on the same level as these top two.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday with Samich, and you kind of made reference to this, where it's just like we do kind of have, and Slim, you kind of mentioned this too, it's like we have such a kind of a cheat code essentially where we know more about these horses than we normally do.
More information
when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. You're usually like, the Kentucky Derby a lot of times is like a coming out party for some of these horses, because they're still kind of figuring themselves out. We're in September, folks. I mean, we're almost the Breeders' Cup. We know a lot about these 3-year-olds. So you kind of, not just that, they ran against each other for the most part.
Yeah,
several times. Especially when it comes to comparing, your Honor AP to someone underneath, or your Tiz Law to Max Player or whatever. Like you know who they are. So you really don't know between between Honor AP and Tiz Law. But after that, it's kind of like, okay, we know who these horses are.
Yeah.
So you kind of have an ability to say, okay, I feel very confident in those two finishing first. And then you can spread a little bit, be creative underneath.
Yeah. I mean,
except Money Moves. He hasn't run. All these other horses have run against each other except Money Moves. He's the new horse.
That is true. He is an unknown in that factor. Wouldn't it be amazing? No. I mentioned this on Blinkers Off. Wouldn't it be amazing if we had Money Moves win the Kentucky Derby with 0 points?
No, it'd be awful.
Welcome to 2020, folks.
Right? That would just cap off this year.
Yeah, that's true. The only horse that's like a trivia question in 20 years. The only horse that ever won the Kentucky Derby was 0 Kentucky Derby points. Let's see some quotes. I'm tuning in from London. We got some London in here. Tiz Law is truly exciting international. That's awesome.
Oh, it's truly exciting. International Super. I expected. Wow, that's awesome.
That is cool. Tiz Law, the New York bred, is gaining attention all the way
unreal
in London.
Right?
The South Bend have a shot to complete a super. Anybody on? Okay, Vinny, I'm gonna go to you because I believe didn't you throw Vinny in?
Yeah. I think he does because honestly, outside of the top two, I think the rest could finish fourth. I think it's going to be a long way back to fourth, and there's only the only two horses I really don't like today are Storm the Court, who if he finishes in the super, like I won't hit mine, and Necker Island. I think those are the two worst horses in the field. And those are those are the only two horses I won't use underneath in my super. Everybody else, though, I think has a logical shot at finishing fourth.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with that because, again, it seems like it's just going to be one of those who wants to finish a mile and a quarter race and who's going to clunk up for fourth. And even though like an Enforceable or a Max Player seems logical to be there, it wouldn't surprise you in any stretch of the imagination that those horses don't make their move in South Bend, for instance. Thanks, Mike. I booked NY Traffic over Authentic. Only got plus 110 though, but that is a nice race matchup. So there you go.
Yeah, you gotta. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, Ricky, what's up, buddy?
Me?
Do you need sunglasses?
You're in jail there, Ricky. You're behind bars.
So right at this time, the sun comes in. It's better than me being in the hallway like it was for a long time. So we'll eventually get the blinds fixed. But no, I'm happy to hop on and just listening to you guys. You know, I didn't get a chance to hop on yesterday, but just some of the insight everyone gave and how things kind of played out was great to listen to. And obviously, if you're kind of listening for the first time, maybe today, just getting the chance to tune in for the second day in a row and just listening to you guys was great. And I'm excited. 24 minutes to go. I heard a lot of you guys kind of give your opinions, but this is great. This is great stuff right here.
Casey Buck, it's always good to have you on the feed.
What's up, C-Buck?
Yeah, Patriots suck, by the way. Enjoy that.
We gotta give Ricky a shout out too. Kid's been crushing.
Yeah,
he had a couple days, man.
Ricky,
I was the only one watching the Woodward today. I put it out on
Literally.
Twitter. I was the only
watched.
person watching. And of course, Tacitus couldn't get the job done. I know Slim was tuning in, but I hope I didn't ruin the result for you.
It's a shame we couldn't.
Yeah, Custis is done.
It's a shame we couldn't have Magic on today. Oh shit! Who is the
Ooh,
Tim?
no. 1,000 words just flipped over in the paddock, guys.
Do you really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
now he's
unfortunate.
okay.
Yeah, he's fine, but yeah,
That's an auto
Are
scratch.
they
in New
really
York,
gonna?
isn't it?
I was gonna
He's a
say,
little
yeah.
bit
Are they gonna? They got to scratch him, right?
Well, he
Oh,
got
man.
right up is the only thing.
but he's bleeding.
That's an auto scratch, and I think like Simon said, I think that's an auto scratch in New York, isn't it?
Yes.
It is.
Yes, absolutely.
What's up, Sean? How's it going?
Yeah, I
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Sean?
Anybody alive to anything? I know Samich had Digital Age, so
This
that's a good one.
guy,
and Bell's the one.
that guy,
Yeah.
massive pay.
I need Tiz for the play
With
for
5 minutes to
also.
post, I put a $2 pick 3, Bell's the one, Digital Age to the 2 big favorites here. So that's gonna pay it's gonna pay pretty good to honor AP. So.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't have her originally. I'm like, oh man, maybe this pace is gonna heat up. But I even thought with Mia Mischief being taken out of that race, that Serengeti would just have it, and Bell's the one. Man, that was
that photo looked like I thought it was gonna be a dead heat for a second.
You gotta
Serengeti Empress just has so much heart for. I mean, she gets eyeballed and she just finds another gear. I mean, I thought the 4 was just gonna roll by. So
Me too.
Dude,
but I want to thank Mike Samich for me being alive in the pick 3. Thanks to your opinions.
That was good. They asked for a pick 3 just on the sign off. I said 4-8, 4-8, 17. Let's go. So hopefully everyone played it.
I missed that part, but I already knew your pick, so I put it.
I wish I was that confident on Digital Age. I used basically everybody in that last race.
So breaking news, a couple of things real quick, guys. 1,000 words has been scratched.
He's out.
So he is out. And the protesters have shown up in groves, it looks like, at Churchill Downs. I just had a live shot of them, and they were all over the place. So that could be a developing story. I mean, 23 minutes to post. Hopefully we get this race in at least before it gets wild.
Yeah,
there.
1,000 words is out is a massive because that's a horse I think that a lot of us definitely liked underneath. And especially for a horse, if you're looking for a logical candidate to upset, he kind of made some sense there. But 1,000 words is out. That's crazy.
We've got a live shot of Dwayne Lucas. This guy had COVID, right? And so everybody's got their mask on, and Dwayne Lucas has got it like around his chin. Like he's like,
He's not gonna care.
shit about this. I've already got it once. So.
They're still walking 1,000 words in the ring.
Yeah, he's
just
still walking around, but he is scratched on the feet.
He scratched
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah,
on
they're
the-
probably just walking him around to make sure he's okay before walking him back. Between all those, like
Right.
all the, well, I guess there's no fans, but
So I guess
What a year for Bob Baffert. Like, come on. This looked like he was with the Derby at the beginning of the year. Now it's like, okay, we're 30 minutes from the Derby. You got 2 here. And it's like, nah.
Well, he
That
tried Uncle
kinda-
Chuck at the Travers. That's where it went downhill.
that kind of sneakily removes more pace from this race too.
it does.
Absolutely.
It does.
That's the thing. The 10 was one of those possible pressers. I mean, and now the 10's gone too. You're going to lose even more pace. I mean, and I had the 10 and everything in the try and the super, not on the first 2 legs, but beneath that in the 3rd and the 4th. I think Max Player and attachment rate now become the horses you look for in that 3rd and 4th spot if you're looking for a price. I mean, Max Player running well behind Tiz the Law, but if 7 lengths behind Tiz the Law, maybe good for 3rd in this race.
Well, Quinn, and you talk about a little bit. You're the pace guy. You obviously were a big 1,000 words kind of guy here as far as kind of a stayer, so to speak. What does that do to you? Slim right now is changing his bets as we speak. He is.
He's focused. He's locked in.
I just canceled $192. Because I had 1,000 words in every one of those bets. So
And every one of the guide bets too, right?
I'm very confused what to do now. You guys might have to help me here.
Well,
That's why we're here.
okay, so we'll go back to Slim. Samich, I think I cut you off, so we'll go ahead and add on that.
Yeah, I mean, just Max Player finished 7 lengths behind last time in the Travers to Tiz the Law. I mean, if he runs within 7 lengths of Tiz the Law, he probably finishes 4th in this race, right? Like,
Yeah.
is that crazy or is that kind of logical? So, you know, if Max Player can do that, and you also have third off a layoff, he just proved himself with a 1.25 miles. Honor Coach would have no issue with the distance. I mean, I think you could logically make a case that this is going to be one of those horses that's picking up the pieces. And if we don't have, if we no longer have 1,000 Words, who I think is that grinder that could have kind of stayed up there when being close to the pace. You now have to look at who that middle tier is. And I think that Max Player fits that perfectly. I think that the 13 attachment rate is the other one that fits it perfectly. And Daryl Roman's already had a pretty good day. This horse has kind of gotten better as the year has progressed. This one might be one of those that's kind of coming into his own. And it's one of those that could finish 4th again. I'm not saying either of them can win, but, you know, one of my 3 horses I like underneath just got scratched. So where else can we go?
So we're down to a 15-horse Derby field here, right? 15 horses. So we're getting very scarily close to a very normal race, and that does not help the fact that anyone else other than named Tiz the Law, because Tiz. I mean, the only help that they need is to have, you know, traffic or something to cause this horse to lose. So yeah, 15 horses, and as our historian, a resident historian on here, this has got to be one of the lowest Kentucky Derby fields we've had in many years, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when this group that owns Tiz the Law won with Funnyside, it was a 16-horse field, and that's like the lowest it's been. And now it's 15. We're probably never going to see that again unless this COVID thing keeps going. A 15-horse Derby field, like that's insane. You get a horse from Japan and Europe and all this stuff.
Right.
Like honestly, let's be honest right now. Doesn't it kind of feel like it's setting up for like you couldn't be setting this up more? If he loses, he couldn't have had more things go his way. So at this minute, that 4 to 5 thing you were saying, I just want to say, it's like that is getting sweeter and sweeter because it's becoming a normal race. And I mean, he's going to have as good a chance as you can to win a Kentucky Derby. If he's the best horse, I don't see him getting stopped, right?
Well, and on your point about the 4 to 5 that you said real quick, not that I really think 1,000 Words was going to beat Tiz the Law, but he was a logical 4th, 5th. Bob Baffert's the trainer. Flo, the jock who won the Kentucky Oaks, was riding him, and the horse is still 4 to 5. Like that was a lot of money that was just lost right there, or back, you know, out of the pools, and he's still 4 to 5. So yeah, no, Ryan, I totally agree. And as we go along here, you're right. Every day as we progress toward this Derby, it seems more and more like it seems pretty obvious who's going to win this race, and it's Tiz the Law. And like I said, again, at 4 to 5, that's really something I didn't think I would see. That's for sure. What are we now? We are 18 minutes away from the biggest race in the country. So let's look at it here.
Real quick,
a horse that's 35 to 1 or higher that can hit the board. Let's do that, because I think that's how you're going to make the big money. Samich, go ahead. You have it
right. 45 to 1 right now, and there's $15 million in the win pool. So it's going to be hard to move these numbers very much at this point.
Yeah, he's going to be 4 to 5. Ryan, you probably don't have one, but maybe.
This is the weirdest thing, but like, what if Solo Volante just has a good day?
Well, no, I'll say this.
Okay.
I don't think that's bad at all, because he hasn't shown it in a long time, but he's shown that he can close and maybe get up there. I think that's an okay pick. Ricky?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all about like Samich said, I'm with attachment rate for the biggest reason that if we were looking at our collector as the second best horse, finish there and then finish behind Swiss Skydiver, who, you know, again, I wasn't on with you guys, but I think Swiss Skydiver ran an unbelievable race yesterday, taking nothing away from her. I just think that's the next logical move. Like Samich said, if we're talking about competition, even though maybe it was a distant second or distant 5th or whatever, you have to look at a price and say the competition might mean more than finishing second by 2 if you're going to finish second by 5th. Not every second or 4th or 5th is the same result. So I'm with Samich.
Slim.
Yeah, attachment rate for me. I think I'm surprised that he's such a long shot. Still, even, you know, after the scratch 1,000 Words, a lot of this money's been spread around a little bit here. Honor AP's down to 7 to 1. He was up to like 9 to 1 before, but that attachment rate is still 45 to 1 here. So I changed up my bet. I put the 2 big ones on top of a bunch of horses in 3rd and 4th in the super authentic New York Traffic attachment race. South Bend, I think I threw in there, Money Moves, and Enforceable Max Player. So I threw a bunch in a $1 super.
Vinny.
I think Mr. Big News at a price I think is worth using underneath. I don't know if he's good enough, but he's just like pedigree. He's just bred to run all day. Like I don't think of all the horses in this race. I don't think there's a question he can get a mile and a quarter. It's just whether if it's quick enough to be competitive.
All right, Sean.
I like the 12 Sole Volante as well. I like him even enough to include in my pick 3. So I just think you throw out the Belmont race, the 57-4 at Palmettos, just kind of green light, ready to go type of bullet work. And if things get weird up front, he's going to come flying at the end. So not only do I think he can hit the board, but I think I've seen crazier things happen than seeing Sol Volante come up and win if things get real hot up front. And this track's been playing fast, so I think people are going to be really pushing for the front.
I think Ryan and Sean win because Sole Volante is mine because it's just like, yeah, he's shown that ability to close, and if he can somehow get that turn of foot back, and of course the Belmont was just awful, but if he can get that turn of foot back, I do think he can clunk up for third and fourth. And right now you've got Sole Volante at 35-1, and you've got Storm the Court at 25-1. Who the hell is betting Storm the Court right now?
I have no idea.
Listen,
I didn't like Storm the Court at 50-1.
If Storm the Court, if you've bet him at 25-1, even if he wins,
go
it's
jump out
a
of
terrible bet. It's that's the worst bet I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't like the horse at 50-1. You start seeing them open up, you're just like, oh, take that horse off the ticket.
I mean, you're like, why do they, when they enter, and you're like, why are they deciding to run him?
I wouldn't bet him at 250.
No, I have no idea. They tried him on turf last time, and he ran awful.
Yeah, it's always a great angle when you try him on turf prior to the Derby, and like, no, that didn't work. No.
So I don't like Storm the Court either, and I think coming off of last year, he just hasn't looked the same. But if we're just going to look at the pace, right? I think the only case you could make is that he might even draw away from, if you're talking about horses 2 through I guess 7 with Money Moves. I just think he might be in a decent position, and we've seen kind of, unless horses have really hooked up, they kind of have done well. That's the only case I'm making, is to see why you might see he could finish 4th. I'm not saying, I'm just looking at it. I'm going to play devil's advocate if someone wants to bounce that off me, but you're looking at Max Player, Enforceable, Major Fed, all horses that want to close from deep. I think I'm just making the case why you would maybe bet Storm the Court. Other than that, I don't really see a reason, but I think he could be forwardly placed.
We are 13 minutes to post. Anybody like Necker Island? Kelby wants to know.
If you want to back what Samich was saying, I mean, he did finish third with attachment rate right there. If you want to be logical with attachment rate, I feel like you could be logical with Necker Island as well. Yeah, and then he finished. Sorry, Samich. And then he finished 4th to our collector 3 starts back. So if you want to kind of play the same logic, I guess you can go with that horse as well.
Yeah, he was 2 lengths back of attachment rate. So if you don't think anyone else can be in that 2-length space between them, because I do think that's about the right amount of distance between them. I don't think Necker Island's going to necessarily improve more than attachment rate could improve to get by him. But if you feel like attachment rate's a logical 3rd place horse, then Necker Island's a logical 4th place horse in that sense. So if you're playing attachment rate, I think Necker Island is one you have to include in the next spot down. So if you're putting attachment rate in 3rd, Necker Island's a logical 4th place horse. If you put him in 2nd, it's a logical 3rd place horse, because they do run close enough that at this distance, 2 lengths could be the distance between 2 placings.
Yeah, it's, and like Vinny kind of mentioned earlier, past the top 2, you can make a case. We can sit here and talk for 10 hours and make a case for all these horses up finishing 3rd and 4th. I mean, it's really that kind of field. And frankly, a lot of these horses that are running this race probably couldn't win a grade 3 race. But yet here they are in the Kentucky Derby, because of course, that's the year we have. And so that makes it difficult when you're handicapping if these horses can clunk up for 3rd or 4th. I have a hard time imagining Honor AP and Tiswell, one of the 2. Like, okay, I have a good question. So if one of those 2, I think it should be obvious, but like, who do you feel more confident not hitting the board? Is it Honor AP? Like, as far as if things go wacky, right? If something happens in the race, do you still feel like Tiz Law, like he's still good enough? He's still solid enough. He's going to hit the board.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I am worried about Honor AP that he might not show up just because the way he ran in the shared belief. But he didn't like the track that day. The track was tightened up at Del Mar and later, and then he worked out much better on it. So I'm worried that he could throw in another clunker like he did in the shared belief.
I don't think his shared belief was actually that bad.
It's too short.
That was my yeah, that was my thing. It was too short, and I thought the move that the horse on the inside of him there who made the early move, the other Baffert that scratched out of the Pat Day Mile today.
He's on.
Yeah, like the move he made early, and he made it early, and I think Honor AP was moved a little early in that race as well. And even though he didn't win, he kept on, like Sean said. I just think the distance was way too short for him.
And also, he didn't need the points, and it looked like a classic Mike Smith. I'm saving 30% of this. You know, we're running at 70, 80%. Did he go to the stick? I don't remember if he did or not.
I don't know if he did. I also don't think he ever saw. I don't think he ever saw 1,000 Words on his inside. I think he thought 1,000 Words threw in the anchor, and he only had to beat the two horses on either side of him, and he knew he had them beat.
I just want to say something really cool. Sorry to interrupt you, but like Giacomo, when they won the Derby with that horse, John Sheriffs and Mike Smith, the race before it, he ran at Santa Anita in the Santa Anita Derby, and he finished 4th. So it's not like, if that horse can come from 4th to come and win the Derby in the next one, Sheriffs can get a horse that finished 2nd in the shared belief to pop. We saw him do it once is my thing. Mike, hate to interrupt you. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I just say I'll play devil's advocate. What if Tiz Law doesn't like Churchill? This is the site of his only loss? I mean, what if he just doesn't like the track? I mean, I don't think that's the truth. I think it was the sloppy being inside, but this is the site of his only loss.
Someone could make an angle that is the case. We're watching the post parade right now on NBC. A couple of things. Honor AP could very easily eat in white traffic. Like it wouldn't be that hard. and
it wouldn't even be that hard.
No, like he would just like 2 bites and he'd be done. And then Tiz Law is so professional looking. Yeah. Like everyone else, seems nervous. The horses, and they're not even holding him. Right? He's just doing it. He's right by the rider. Like they're not holding his reins at all. And he's just kind of cantering, just on his own, just chilling. Like he looks professional. He is professional. We know that from his resume. Like there's this, we've talked about this. We beat it. It's just like you look for angles and there's really not a lot there.
No. Can I address 2 questions real quick that came in?
Yeah.
Dennis Caller, I'm not sure which one, but should I be nervous with my $500 win bet on Tiz Law? Absolutely. I mean, you obviously should be nervous when you bet that amount of money. But you've made a bet on the best horse on the race with odds that are higher than what he should be. So win or lose, you made the right decision. So, but yeah, absolutely you should be nervous. It's a $500 win bet, but it's in the race. Why is Money Moves taking so much money? I have no idea. Okay.
Fletcher, those are 2 in horse racing, so people know those names.
Clure. Oh, okay. Dennis Clure. Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't know what you meant at first. Yeah. No, yeah, you should be nervous, but
Money Moves is taking money because it's the only horse that can logically improve. It's the only horse that we don't know who it is. It's the one unknown horse. And so, everyone else has been knocking heads against each other. We don't know how good Money Moves is. And this is Pletcher and Castellano, like Slim said, who's coming in. I think that's really the big thing.
Yeah. Priority. I mean, he ran a head behind Prioritize last time out. He was an older horse, and he didn't run that bad earlier in the Woodward. He really didn't. He was stuck wide, and then he moved. He had to move inside, and he ended up He outfinished Spinoff for 3rd, and it was only a couple lengths back. Like really, not a terrible effort there. So,
can I just jump in? And I don't know if you guys read into this, and maybe you guys, if someone has a reason why, but if Pletcher thought Money Moves really had a shot, wouldn't he be there? Now, again, someone might know something why he's at Saratoga, and he was with Maggie. I was watching earlier in the day. But I just don't love – everyone's there. And if someone has a reason, please, I don't know.
I believe Kentucky is on the list. New York State has a bunch of a 30-something state list right now where you have to quarantine for 14 days if you come back. And I believe Kentucky is on that list. I know a bunch of those Midwestern states are on that list. I'm not 100% on that, but I would imagine that is why some of those trainers who had big horses running today were not at Churchill Downs.
I mean, Brown wasn't there either. Obviously, he doesn't have a runner in this race, but he just had 2 in the co-feature,
Right.
the previous feature, right? So, I mean, he's got horses up and down the card, and he's not
Right,
there
and-
either. So,
I think it's the New York with the 14 days when you come back quarantine is kind of a lot.
All right, so we are 6 minutes post now. 6 minutes.
5
So
minutes.
you beat me. No, you're not. Tis Law is 5. Oh, shit. Okay, 5 minutes to post.
It's a
Tis
fast
Law
minute.
is steady at 4 to 5, which is very kind of interesting considering some money being 1,000 words.
I have no money in my bank account right now.
Well,
I have 50 cents.
Honorary.
In your bank account or your ADW?
No, my ADW.
Your ADW is your bank account, right? That's what you use
Yeah,
it for?
right. Right.
I just leave it in the ADW.
You pick my TVG account for bills?
Yeah.
Our racing dude's paychecks go straight to his 82.
Yeah.
So he is a degen. So 4 to 5 on Tislaw, 7 to 1 on Honor AP, 8 to 1 on Authentic. So take your pick. If you're talking like I like Authentic, I'm more of an Authentic bandwagon than some of you guys on here. Honor AP and him being the same is ridiculous. Honor AP all day long at 7 to 1. But yeah, it's nothing really is changing. The money is hanging tight on Tislaw. But if you like him, 4 to 5 is definitely playable. Any last thoughts? As we sit here and unbelievably, we are finally going to run this damn race. And any last thoughts?
Betting Tislaw to place is a better bet than betting Tislaw to win.
Okay, tell more. Tell more to people listening to that.
If you look at the pools right now, you have 8 million out of 18 million on Tislaw. If you look at the place pool, he has 1 million of 4.5 million. He's only kicking up about 25% of the place pool, which means if anyone else runs in, he splits the other 2 million with it, and you're going to get almost $4 back to place right now if this holds. Now, someone may come in and bet a massive amount to place, but right now you're getting more for the place than the win on Tislaw.
Which is a
Someone on this feed is going to bet that.
Yeah, we'll check in with you after the race, all right?
All right, take care, Slim.
Bye.
Bye.
Slimmy, being dad over there. So,
That's great.
yeah. So that's amazing thought right there because I mean, shit, it's just the place. If you bet him to place and he doesn't place, and you just kind of walk away and just like, well, shit, I guess
You just didn't run
this
today.
just wasn't my day. So, let's see. Historically, Ryan, as we sit here, you talked about it yesterday a little bit with him. Only one Travers winner ever winning, or one Derby winner winning the Travers. Obviously, he's already got the Travers. It's a year unlike anything we've seen. But historically, what are we about to watch possibly?
Okay, well, first of all, yeah, one Triple Crown winner ever won a Travers. He's already got that. He's already got a Belmont at a shorter distance. It's weird to think we'll ever have this situation again. So no matter what you see today, you're never going to probably see this play out this way again, where a Derby's pushed at the end of the year, that we run in front of nobody. A 15-horse field seems very unlikely to happen again anytime soon. But you know what, honestly? From here to Dubai, where princes get involved in this, all around the entire world, when somebody gets into racing, this is the race they want to win. And you can't buy it. You can try. The best farms in the world, some of them go to the end of time and haven't even placed in this race. And we're about to see it. This is what it's all about. So whoever wins a national hero, that horse now is protected by the country. It used to be different. Nowadays, it's like you're a hero. You go up to be like paraded in front of people at the Kentucky Horse Park. I think that's the name of the one I'm thinking of right now. But the point I'm making is, whatever happens today, you're about to see history. You can't say that. And for this horse, Tiz, can he be the only thing consistent in 2020? Think about that. He's got to overcome that.
Okay.
And honestly, what I really feel ashamed to say this is, who didn't want to see Magic and Mike on this broadcast? It's the one thing we won't get to see right now. But other than that, that's the history for you. Let's go and see history.
Let me piggyback on the hype train real quick. Every great horse throughout time, there comes a moment where they get challenged and they have to respond. And that's the last thing we have to know about Tiz the Law. When he does get a legitimate challenge,
When he gets eyeballed.
will he respond? Will he do it? Like American Pharoah had to dig down deep to win the Kentucky Derby. He dug down deep and almost won the Travers. We saw at the end of his career, we said he was great and he also had heart. Will Tiz the Law get eyeballed today? And when he does get eyeballed, will he respond? That's why this race, out of all the other races, it could happen here. It usually does happen here in the Kentucky Derby. They get their test one way or the other. Will he get eyeballed today? Can Honor AP eyeball him? And then can he respond to that? That is what has me excited to watch the race.
I think we'll find out in November.
What'd you say, Mike?
I think we'll find out in November.
Well, and hey, if that happens, that happens.
It's also the first time, Ryan, you talked about
Miranda.
it. I mean, Saratoga, Del Mar, and the Kentucky Derby all on the same weekend. I think, Aaron, we were talking about this, and this is like, yeah, this race is great, but the whole weekend, if we kind of combine this together, I mean, yeah, 2020's been bad, but this is like the ultimate thing, right? You have the entire weekend. Again, I was talking about the Woodward, just to have everything on the same day, and then you kind of parlay it into, Sunday and a Monday card as well, out west in Saratoga. I mean, this is just unbelievable. So there's obviously time for complaining, and 2020 has been awful, but let's take the positive. I mean, this has been unbelievable for the sport, and I think the sport has grown even more this year than it ever has.
All right, Rick, I'm going to cut you off because they're loading in the gate. We're behind. Our feed is behind. So we're going to mute you guys. We're not going to look at you guys. So we're going to keep the camera on. So you guys,
You see us.
you guys say whatever you want, but we'll see the race, boys.
I think I'm behind too. They're loading into the gate on my end too. So
If I'm ahead, I just won't talk. If everyone else watching the NBC feed, because I'm
watching the
I've
feed
got
on
the 9 going in right now.
I don't have.
Let's go mute. Let's go mute.
17's walking in for me.
The audio.
Come on, let's do it, guys. Let's get Tiz home. Let's just do it.
That's kind of a weird look.
It is. Just a lot looked at that guy, like, put the whip away. I can get him by myself.
I know how to walk in the
Did he
gate.
not look right at that guy? Like, please stop. If he goes right away.
If he breaks well, he's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be scary.
Oh, his broke great.
15 New York traffic went into honor code though. That's not good.
RIP.
I mean honor AP, yeah. What are they doing with Authentic? Are you gonna put him on the lead or what?
You better go. Don't get
What's he
hung wide.
doing? He's like 100 wide.
Yeah, don't get hung wide,
What are
son.
you doing?
Oh shit, Johnny. So Tislaw
22.
sits the trip that he always sits.
Yep.
And once again, you put him in the race just like he
Perfect trip.
Normally would. I mean, you can just copy and paste him into this race. So Authentic setting the race, setting the pace, not a surprise, but he is going quick.
46-4. I think that was over. Or
I think I might have got the bet there, which is shocking. So once again, there's no reason Tislaw does not win here. Where is Honor AP?
He's like dicking around on like 12th or 13th. He's right there, like at the edge of the screen. See him?
Oh shit!
He looks like
doing?
He looks like he's climbing a bit. Don't look at your messages.
No, this is Honor AP.
Don't look at your phone.
I'm turning my phone over. Authentic. He might get brave. Here's Tislaw.
Who's this? Who's this flying right here?
The 9.
Who the fuck's the 9?
So far behind.
Wow.
No, he's gonna.
Well, he ain't gonna beat him, but this race is over.
Come on, Tiz. Look at Authentic.
Authentic is fighting his ass off.
Look at Authentic. Come on, Tiz. Run him
Get
down.
by him.
He's gonna hold him off. Authentic's gonna win the Kentucky Derby.
Wow.
Pacific just won the Kentucky Derby.
That's why you don't bet against
Pacific won the Kentucky Derby.
I
Bob
mean,
Baffert is tied the record.
Baffert
Wire
went shocked.
to wire. I knew that horse would go wire. I knew it was Kentucky, but I didn't think Tiz Law could get by him. Holy shit.
Bob Baffert, man, he looked like he was going to win the Derby this year.
2 minutes, almost 2 minutes flat.
This is a training job, guys. Look at the training job Bob Baffert did on the
Unreal that horse
That is
held on.
unbelievable.
Bob Baffert's training job deserves a lot of credit. That was
oh, she's about to die.
Mr. Big News ran a good third.
Mr. Big News.
Wow.
How many points did he get for third in the Derby?
Unbelievable.
There you go.
Wow. I cannot believe that he went gate to wire.
I can't believe he got the distance.
With that trip too.
Did you see
That was atrocious.
the
How about my
fraction?
racehorse? How about my racehorse winning the Kentucky Derby?
Awful.
Did Honor AP finish the race yet,
No,
guys?
you got
Yeah,
fourth.
he finished fourth.
Okay.
He
Yeah,
gave
he
it
was
for
coming.
fourth. Mike, Jesus.
That was awesome. I know it's not the result for some people, and I know it's crazy, but what a performance from Authentic! Like
That
was
pace
huge.
was hot too.
yeah,
What a hot pace.
you did
And
see
he
something
missed the break and was swung wide. And like everything
Bob
went wrong for Authentic.
No one's closed on this dirt since they opened up on Tuesday. Not one horse has really made, and I think we kind of get. It was a tough trip at Mike, as you pointed out. Once he got to the lead, though, he was just able to find just enough. I mean, it's really tough to close on the dirt. The turf's not the case, but
Tiz set close. I mean, he was there. He got the trip.
No,
Oh, yeah, Tiz had no excuse.
No excuse.
Don't need to start that.
Yeah, I mean, Tiz. I don't know if you could hear us, but it was like you copy and paste once again, where he set the exact trip you wanted. The fractions were fast up front, which set up perfect for him, and he just plain and simple couldn't get Authentic. It was almost like yesterday when you could Swiss Skydiver could not get past She Dares the Devil. Tiz Law just couldn't get by him.
I think that's only Tiz's second race where he didn't have the lead at the top of the stretch. I think the other one was the other race at Churchill. He's had the lead. He's had an uncontested lead turning for home in every single race.
Yep.
He just
Bob Baffert is absolutely shocked that horse just won.
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
He absolutely is on the stream.
Bob
That's
Baffert's
not a
last
normal
30 minutes,
Baffert
He had a
reaction.
horse scratch from this race. He had everything. I mean, that's an incredible turnaround right there. And look at Johnny V, man.
Mm-hmm.
Great ride.
How about all the things that went on with the 3-year-old crop in the Baffert barn? Just everything from the beginning of the year until now, and to come out with the Kentucky Derby, and I mean that probably was one of the least talked about Baffert starters in the last 20 years in the Kentucky Derby. Man, I know a lot of people did not like, me included, did not like Authentic in this spot.
No, I didn't think he fit.
And Tiz has, to me, no excuse. I really love Tiz, but Authentic just, I mean, I feel like Tiz gave it a great try. Authentic was just, no one was beating him. That was amazing. What a result.
He really,
to Samich's point, is it Churchill Downs? That's the only thing. Is it Churchill Downs? Is there something with his footing there? Because I mean, he really had no excuse. Ryan, to your point, I mean, he's now 0 for 2 at Churchill. Not bad performances, but this is the only place that he hasn't won now. So
you
are we
can't tell
looking
me
at?
when he had to run down Authentic, you weren't thinking this is over. If you know what's happened all year, you couldn't have been like, I mean,
The race was over.
I believe if you heard him, he said this is over, and because it looked like the exact same thing you see.
The best was the worst was that your stream. You got the Halterman. Your stream was behind everybody else. We were all sitting here shocked. And then you go, this race is over, and we're just all sitting here. We're all just sitting here shaking our heads like, no, it's not.
Just wait.
No, it's not. It was bad.
I really enjoyed watching you two like a minute after my feed stopped. So that was enjoyable. That was more entertaining than the race for me.
I mean,
internal fractions.
Top the stretch, you would say, well, he's just going to run right by him. Bob Baffert. You're right, Ryan. What a training job to get. Obviously, got the stamina in this horse to last and go a mile and a quarter when clearly he did not look like he wanted anything to do with a mile and a quarter. just unbelievable, really.
Can I ask a question? A crazy, just like hypothetical. Had King Guillermo, 1,000 words, Finnick the Fierce, not scratched from this race, and Authentic had to break wider than that, would there have been any? I mean, like, honestly, that was so incredibly crazy what we just saw. I thought it set up for Tiz, but it might have set up for Authentic somehow. I have no idea. Like, that horse looked like he was all out in the Haskell. He got his butt kicked by Honor AP. This is.
I can't believe he held on. That was that was unreal that he held on like that.
That kind of sums 2020 up, Ryan. To your point, I mean, just when we thought 2020 was the consistent part, now it's like, you know, what happens here? Obviously, you know, the Triple Crown's over, the Quadruple Crown, whatever we are calling it these days. But I mean, this might have been one of Bob Baffert's best training.
I have
Listen.
Hey, let's hang on a second, guys.
I have something to say. Can we all give Samich a virtual hug? I've never seen him this upset.
Look at him. For everyone listening on the feed, $17,000 was right there.
Oh shit! Tommy, I had no idea. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh boy.
Hope everyone understands that. $17K if Tiz Law gets by Authentic there. That's what he. That's
Mike, dude, sorry, bro.
That Tiz Law didn't win. Like,
hey, it's horse racing, man. The goal is to put yourself in that position time and time again, and you'll end up. But yeah, that one sucked. I'm not gonna lie. I was sorry.
Now, for everybody watching, keep an eye out on Samich for Sunday and Monday Soma bombs for him to make that 17K.
He'll come back.
Yeah,
He'll
watch out for closing day on Monday at Del Mar.
Now, I have a question. Do you think they go to the Preakness with Tiz, or do you think they try like the Jockey Club Gold Cup instead?
I don't think there's any shot they go to the Preakness with Tiz after that. You know, for a horse that they've been so adamant about being spacing out his races, and obviously that changed a little bit with this. I think now they'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if they train it to the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, you got 3 to 5 to place on Tiz Law, by the way, same price as the win.
There you go. See, that's almost.
I'll tell you what. In the middle of the race, now that we got the fixed betting in New Jersey, if you could bet mid race 3 to 5. I mean, how many of us would have just unloaded on System Law?
Yeah,
only certain tracks are mid race, Sean.
Well, I mean, just thinking hypothetically. San Diego, I can't even bet on sports. So
well, no, I'm here in Jersey. That's what I'm saying. It's not as wide range as it's like Monmouth, and that's about like it's not as much. It's a lot of like European, but no, that's a good point. It's like how many
people like he stole this race? He is running out. He looks like Baffert looks like he's 12 years old right now. He's so freaking shocked that this just happened.
Think about his last hour. You're going in there and you think 1,000 words is your chance. The horse flips. Yep. You're absolutely demoralized in that sense. And then Authentic comes out and just unbelievable. I mean, just wires the field. And the internal fractions, like he went 24 seconds for that third quarter. It goes 25 seconds to the mile. And then they came home in 25 seconds. I mean, it was actually not that slow of a time in that last quarter. I said he'd run at 26. He didn't run at 26. If he ran at 26, Tiz Law beats him. And he was able to find that little left there to get home after the 135 mile, which is, I mean, still absolutely unbelievable to me. He ran a 137 mile in the Haskell and came home in 13 seconds.
Like, if you're a Tiz Law fan, like to your point, Mike, he really didn't like shame himself here. It took quite an impressive performance to beat him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we thought, okay, he should be your pick, and if somebody beats him, they beat him. But like logically, he should. And I think you got the effort. It's just who could have seen Authentic. I mean, you have to admit, the minute Honor AP, you saw him there, you were like, he's done. That didn't seem very likely at that minute. I mean, at least to me, it was like, wow, looks right. So for Tiz's part, no shame in that. I mean, that final time is very impressive. 2 minutes, 0.61.
That was
That's
That's what it took to beat Tiz the Law. He probably didn't love the track. It took that time, that effort from Authentic. I mean,
Tiz Law probably didn't regress a ton. I mean, he maybe did a little bit, obviously, off that Travers, but he probably didn't regress a ton.
Well, the thing that you got to point out is that they were well clear of everybody else.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Authentic just ran his eyeballs out.
Yeah.
And
20 cent pick 6 pays 278,000. 50 cent pick 5 pays 76,000.
Wow.
Hey, shout out to I'm gonna go. I'll do this like a subtle like pat on the back to me, but I'll first say Ricky. Ricky and by the way, myself, who had Authentic in their top 4 on the guide.
You had the most points.
I had 1,000 words, and my next choice was Mr. Big News. So technically, I had the top 4. I mean, I'm just saying.
Undocumented.
So did you hit the stupor?
Me too. I had the top 4. I just had some scratches in there.
What are you talking about? I'm the biggest fan of that horse. But no.
I just want to. Oh, sorry, Jared. Go ahead. No, I just wanted to throw in. I mean, I know I'm probably the only Equibase guy here, but I mean, Johnny V's now 6 for 12 on Baffert's horses in the last 365 days. So if you're a bettor, and I think a logical move was Authentic to get to the lead, but I mean, Johnny V gave him the perfect ride too. I think that, Johnny V some people might say he's on the downward trend, especially if you watch at Saratoga. He's not Irad Jose, but I mean, he's still an unbelievable rider. And if you're watching Saratoga day in, day out, he couldn't have given Authentic a better ride. If anyone's watching, I think he sometimes is like a little bit more underrated, as we currently talk, because there's so many good jockeys in New York. And he just gave him a perfect ride. And now it's 50% win percentage on Baffert's horses. I mean, so obviously quite an impressive number right there.
I believe that was correct me if I'm wrong. That was Johnny V's 200th Grade 1 win as well.
That I don't know. I'm just looking at the past performances. He was 5 for 11 on Baffert in the last 365. Now 6 for 12. I mean, that's probably better jockey trainer combo than we have.
Slim,
one of the better numbers going.
Welcome back to the feed, Slim. Obviously you wrote the pace thesis for this guide. You knew Authentic would be a potential danger loose on the lead, so to speak. I mean, could you imagine a world where not only did he get loose on the lead, but he was able to hold off Tiz Law, who got a pretty perfect trip?
Yeah, there's a lot of things to unfold during this. His 3/4 time is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th fastest, and it was slow to the half. And that 3rd quarter, which I've talked a lot about recently, the 3rd quarter was the slowest 3rd quarter I think ever since 1973. Last year, Maximum Security, and he was able to wire the field. And this 3rd quarter was really unbelievable. Authentic sped up in that 3rd quarter, 23, I think 83 or something is the 3rd quarter. And to do that and then hold on was very impressive. I think it's a testament to Bob Baffert's training. He really built up this horse's stamina with these drills that he had him go through. And he made this horse outrun his pedigree. Originally after the Haskell, I'm really kind of kicking myself because I said, man, everyone's going to be against Authentic. I should be for him. And then I just started thinking, he's going to get pressed. And then once all these horses came out, Art Collector, King Gammo, that didn't impress him, but he still got pressed and kept on going. I can't even say that. Like it wasn't even a slow pace; it was fast for 3/4, and he kept on going. Just like Samit said, I'm very upset about what New York Traffic did to Honor AP coming out of the gate. That screwed up Honor AP's chances. He ran on for 4th, and if he was just a little closer and have so much work to do, I think he might have been up there with those two, knocking heads down the stretch. And, I had a lot of money alive to Honor AP and to Tiz the Law. I just wanted Tiz the Law to win at that point. I had those two with everything, and it didn't happen. So anyway, what can you do? I mean, that's racing. But if you look at the start again, I don't know if you guys talked about this, NY Traffic just came right over from the 15 on to the 16 with Honor AP. It was insane. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm sure Mike Smith, after the quotes after the race are going to be, I took him back like Arrogate in the Dubai World Cup. I took him back like Zenyatta. But, that's not that's Honor AP couldn't do it. We couldn't do it like those horses did. But he got 4th. He might have been the best horse. Who knows? We'll never know.
I mean, Authentic also, he ran, at the time is 22.9 for that 1st quarter. The real time, if you imply the stats of it, of coming over 18 posts, breaking slow, having to rush up in the second half of that 1st quarter, and then clearing the field, he probably ran a 21-8 1st quarter, or the equivalent of it, based on what he had to do to get to that lead. I mean, I'm still in shock that he was able to do that, clear the field after that break, and sustain it. Like he was 3 wide in the turn too. Like it's just like crazy.
Yeah, Bapper got knocked over in the winner's circle too. So he's,
You're gonna watch a replay.
He's so shocked that was it the horse knock him over, or did
I don't know. We're gonna watch a
Authentic
replay.
knocked him over? Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's just hard for me to like digest a little bit. Like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh,
Authentic went nuts. Authentic went nuts in the winner's circle.
He can't believe he won.
Baffer goes down hard, but you know what? Credit to Baffer. He got up really quick.
Baffer said, "I haven't touched a horse in 15 years." This is what Jimmy Barnes was supposed to do.
Can we also talk about like the understory? If you're spendthrift, how pissed are you right now?
Right.
You sold off what 30% of this horse, 40% of this horse for way undervalue now. 206 is a good share price now.
So here you go. His Law does hit the board, and the try pays $1,300. The dollar try pays $1,300 with his Law finishing second. Mr. Big News was 46-1. Finished third, and Authentic 8-1.
Super pace.
Top three choices were in the super. I mean,
How about that?
so
The top 3 choices are in the super, and the super paid what?
Almost $8,000 for a dog.
That's
about-
nuts.
How about that? The top 3 choices.
Because you had to beat the big dogs.
Yeah, beat the big dogs. Get a crazy shot in there. Look, here we go. Here's NY Traffic. Well, we're behind, but we'll watch this. NY Traffic just absolutely slams the shit out of, cuts him down. Not too bad, but he definitely cut him off.
Piss on Honor AP.
So Honor AP next, right?
Honor AP, big
So
mule.
who's going to the Preakness after this? Anybody? You think? It's your big news. He goes to
Authentic.
Preakness?
Authentic.
Authentic. He goes to
Authentic, probably.
You think so?
Guillermo.
all these horses go to the Breeders' Cup. It's going to be all these horses want 2 months off after running this big effort. Bradford ain't bringing him back. The Preakness is garbage this year. It's going to be like a grade 2, grade 3 race. None of these big horses are going there. The Breeders' Cup, these horses go to Breeders' Cup Classics, a $5 million race. Give me a break. I mean,
Does anyone know what happened with?
I don't know.
I would look for a horse named Caro to go. I don't know what his situation is, but he was the one who was maybe pointing to this spot, and he ran well in Saratoga this summer. So that would be, I don't know what, again, his health situation or what he's going on. If someone knows, like, please fill me in. But that's a horse that I'd be looking to, as a lot of these ones are probably going to back out.
We are off here in about 5 minutes, going to back onto Mad Dog Sports Channel 82 on XN. If you guys want to tune in for that, you guys can stay on here if you want to talk more about that. But yeah, so if you kind of get our instant reaction of the Derby, tune in on XM. I don't know. Like, I'm still just trying to, like, it's weird because it's the same thing as yesterday, actually. Because, like, She Dares the Devil was not surprising to me that she ran well. I got
a point to make.
Oh. He was literally holding it.
Everybody says Gamine will get the distance, no problem. She doesn't. Everybody will say Authentic, no way. That's the Baffert horse that can't get the distance. He gets it.
Yeah, Ryan said some Baffert's going to pop.
He was right. He was tinkling a little bit as he walked off. But no, and it's like, I wasn't surprising Authentic ran well. I was one of the few that liked Authentic. It's just, I could not imagine a world that you set it up so perfect that his Law just run right by him. And he just, like, he didn't just run well, he held him off.
Manny Franco did the around the turn.
Yeah, right? He's coined that, right? That's his thing.
And he hadn't passed Authentic yet. When he does that, you're like, oh, this is over. Like, goodbye. He's gone past this horse. He's looking to see who's going to come back from behind. And it was just, he couldn't grind him down. Like, Authentic ran away from him. And like you said, I wouldn't Authentic runs third, fine. I get it. When no one else got to him. But man, for him to win like that is what's surprising to me.
I also think if you're just tuning in and like you're gambling and all this, like the people on this feed, this is what they do. They make a lot of money doing it, and they took a shot at it, and none of them saw this result. So if you got them, good for you. That's racing, man, and that's why they run them. And there's no shame. And when something like this happens, you throw your hat up. And if you really were watching all year, nothing suggested this would be the result. Nothing. So you just, in that case, go like, hey, it was his day. showed up and he won it. And what can you do? And just hats off. And it's just one of those things, you know. That's how I would look at it. I mean,
the speed really just as you know, as the meet opened on Tuesday. You know, Mike, you pointed it out, I think, on Twitter maybe a few days ago. You got to get to the lead. Serengeti Empress almost held on and ran an unbelievable race again. Authentic got to the lead. I mean, we've kind of seen it all week that if you're worse than 4th or 5th, good luck. I mean, except for the 8 bells where they dueled yesterday. But I mean, like, this is why I think a lot of people were looking at some of these trends saying you need to be within the top 3. And I think that's why, again, I was playing devil's advocate with Storm the Court. I think that's why they said who could be forwardly placed at a shot. I mean, Authentic obviously got the job done, but I think that was the thinking with whoever had Authentic. That's the only way you could see Authentic winning.
Yep, I think that's the logical reason why you have Authentic underneath. It's like you said, the winning part is what surprises me. I'm not shocked that the Authentic hits the board, right? I was fading her because I thought you had to fade Honor AP or Authentic, and I chose Authentic, which was obviously wrong in that sense. But for her to do this or him to do this and hold on is what's shocking to me. And it's going to be interesting to see where Baffert does take this horse now in the future. Maybe 1,000 Words is who we see in the Preakness, and then he saves this horse for the belt or for the Breeders' Cup. Maybe that's the route you go now.
What's more shocking, that Authentic held off Tis the Law, or that Mr. Big News finished 3rd?
I would say Authentic personally.
I liked Mr. Big News at over 35-1. The finish on the board. He ran huge.
He ran for like not even half a second. You're like, oh shit, hang on, Big News is making a move here, and you're like, whoa, hang on. But you could tell he leveled off.
Right. He was, like I say, he was one of the only horses I thought that really really was bred to go the distance. Everybody else was kind of like, you're all like wondering, like, couldn't they get the distance? So that's the only reason I thought he ran much better than I thought he would. I thought he'd be much farther back. I thought he finished like 3rd or 4th by like 8 lengths. So.
Yeah, he held on.
That horse had no points either, right?
0 points for Mr. Big News.
Yeah, he had 0 points also. So,
Aaron, you have Authentic, right?
Yes,
in the
sir.
league.
Yep.
So what does this do now for us?
I just sent it to you. I have 430. You have 422.
Oh,
stop! That's so crazy.
And you don't necessarily have a runner left.
And I have potentially 3 runners in the Preakness because I have Art Collector, Pneumatic, and I guess I don't know what they'll do with that.
Dude, what a turn of events we have here. Authentic.
Wow. That sucks. We had such a good idea. Now it's just
you had the year, dude. It's not, you had the year.
I'll be honest with you. I had Authentic ranked as my 12th horse on my list, and I had the 12th pick, and I was going to pick him, and that stupid fucking 3 techniques dropped to me.
When Halterman, I was next to draft, and Halterman, I was going to take.
I just want to say I drafted the Kentucky Derby winners.
Congrats.
Oh wait,
I want to give a quick shout out to Jared. You did get the most points on the consensus guide. I thought I actually had passed you until I saw you had Authentic for 3rd. I was like, I don't know who has Authentic. I went back. We both had Authentic for 3rd because it seemed like everyone was going to be. With Tis the Law, I don't know how many points I was calculating it up for anyone who bought the guide or was interested. 4 points for 1st, 3 for 2nd, so on and so forth. And Jared had a 1-point lead and somehow held on with 2 more points from Authentic.
Well, sure. I mean, what is that? Did it really surprise you that I had the most points? Okay, we got to get out of here. You guys, if you guys want to hang on.
Right. I'm heading out.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, guys.
All right. We'll turn it off
again soon.
Thanks, everybody. And Authentic wins the Kentucky Derby. Shocking result. We'll talk more about it next week on Blinkers Off and the Magic Mike Show. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.